Well, a great way to finish the regular season. And I know you already know this, but 7-0 at home. We're really proud of that accomplishment. That was something that we talked about. Winning at home in Tiger Stadium is important to us. I think 13-1 over the last 2 years at home. That is something that we talk about and playing well at home. And I thought our guys, we said this on a number of occasions, and especially on the defensive side of the ball. We're not perfect. We have to grind, but I'm proud of their resolve. And I think that showed, especially in the second half. I think, they were 2 of 9 in the second half and third down conversions. We couldn't stop them. We couldn't get off the field in the first half. In the second half, they really made some plays. We got the pick, which was huge, converted that offensively. And then our playmakers made plays. Big-time players make big-time plays in games like this. And you saw Neighbors and Thomas and obviously Daniels with the 4 touchdowns against, I would consider, the best defense that we've played all year. Just another incredible performance. So really proud of our coaches, really proud of our football team to come back and get a victory and get 9 wins and have a chance for 10 again. Was an important milestone for us. So with that, we'll open up to questions.
It's that fourth quarter. You said big-time players, but crunch time, I think Jaden goes for 100 yards passing in that one. He had barely over 100 throughout the entire game. What did you see in that sense of urgency?
Well, again, I think we made some plays defensively that I thought got some momentum. And then, quite frankly, I thought our offensive line kind of stood tall, protected, and we won some one-on-one matchups. Became a little bit more predictable in terms of what was going to happen out there. They had tried some different things, obviously, with dropping 8, and he heard them running the football. And then the pressures, we were able to start to pick up the pressures and then get the one-on-one matchups. And again, you may get Jaden for a little bit, but you just can't keep him down.
On the fourth down call, it looked like you thought about it for about less than a second. What was your thinking there? And at that point in the game, did you feel like that was necessary at that point?
I felt it was necessary at that point, that we needed to convert in that situation. And I was trying to get the attention of the offense, but our special teams coach was halfway on the field, so I had to get him off the field because there was no way in that situation we were going to give the football up.
Coach, right here, maybe around the country, teams are going to see and fans are going to see the explosiveness of your offense, but what kind of pride do you and the rest of the staff take in being able to kind of grind out drives late in the game to ice games?
Well, look, the explosiveness is in the numbers, right? If you do the research, and many have already done the research in terms of big plays, 20 yards or more, they're out there. But to win games, you still have to control the football, and they did a great job today. Hats off to Elijah and his staff coming in here and having his football team ready to play, and controlling the clock was their best chance today, and they did a terrific job. But when it counted most late in the game, we were able to do that offensively and grind some clock and shorten the game in the fourth quarter when we got the lead.
Brian, when it comes to third down, I think A&M was 0 for its last 5. Was there a specific adjustment y'all made, maybe with Harold in particular, or something else that maybe attributed to that?
Yeah, so we were getting overloaded in zones with their passing game. In particular into the short field, they were running vertical switch routes and then bringing a drive route back that we just couldn't match in our zone. And it was difficult in man coverage. So we went to a spy technique with Harold, and then we went to an old-fashioned 2-trail coverage where we just ran cover 2 behind it, and we just ran trail technique underneath. So we got underneath all of the receivers because they were, as you know, a lot of spot routes, a lot of curls, a lot of drive routes that we just couldn't match. And that we got 3 consecutive stops being in trail coverage. We hadn't run it all year. We kind of had to make that adjustment at halftime. We talked to the kids about what we needed them to do, and to their credit, they went out and executed it.
Coach, last year, Malik Neighbors didn't get off to the best start with those 2 missed punt returns. This year, he sets the record for LSU with receptions. Talk about his growth from last year to this year and see how much work he put in behind the scenes.
Yeah, and again, it's a natural progression within this program that players are going to develop, and that when when it's time, for them to move to that next level, whether it's their sophomore year, junior year, senior year, you're going to see player development here. That's why I love coaching. That's why I'm in this business, because we're going to develop our players. And so he's part of a program where you're going to see player development. Our players are going to have their best year in their later years as they develop. We played a lot of freshmen this year, and there was some growing pains, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But they're going to be better for it next year, and we're going to see that tangibly in the way they play.
Coach, not to jump too far ahead, but as Major Burns came off the field, you could see him taking extra time looking at the crowd before he walked through the tunnel. Malik had tears in his eyes. You gave Brian Harris Jr. a huge hug there at the end near the goal line. What kind of conversations do you have now with these guys in terms of the bowl game coming up, with players now decide not to play in bowl games to get ready for the NFL? Do you see any of that possibility for the Tigers?
Yeah, I'm sure some of them, will have to make some decisions as to whether they think it's in their best interest moving forward, whether they, stay or go. We've had preliminary conversations with all of our players relative to staying for another year, leaving for the NFL, playing in the game. So we've got a pretty good sense of, where our guys are at. And, for us, it's about information. It's about making sure they make the best decision for themselves and for their future. So we're going to be in good shape no matter what happens, regardless of who the player is. So again, I think we've done a pretty good job. We'll do some more meetings this week. We'll have exit interviews with all of our players, and then probably have even a stronger feeling about where our players are at relative to the next step.
Yeah, Brian, what do you think that the Heisman voters will take away from the final impression of Jaden today? What did you think they would take away?
Well, I arguably would say that this, first of all, it's a top 10 defense in the country. I think their defensive line is outstanding, and he had 4 touchdown passes. You throw for 4 touchdown passes against a defense, you put up 42 points. It sure as heck can't hurt you. And then obviously running the way he did, I just think he just strengthened his case for the Heisman.
Coach has time for a couple more, Cobble.
Coach, it's that time of year where some jobs get opened up. Obviously, you've been a pretty attractive name considering what you've been able to do here. How do you approach that?
Yeah, I've been in this for 30-something years. What's that, like 200 and something dog years? It's a long time. I feel that way sometimes. This is where I wanted to be. I wanted to be at LSU, and I love it here. And I'm not going anywhere. This is my stop. This is the last stop on the Coach Kelly caravan. And you always go, wow, he's just saying that, to get the right soundbite. But I don't have to say anything that puts me in a corner. But this is it. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to coach. I love it here. I love the people. I love the state, and I love the fact that I'm working with an administration, an athletic director, and Scott Woodward, and a president and President Tate, that are giving us the support necessary to graduate champions. And so this is where I want to be.
Wilson, you got the last one.
Ryan, over the next few weeks, what are you going to consider and how are you going to approach any staff decisions when it comes to your assistants and who may be with you next season?
Yeah, I mean, look, every year there's going to be an evaluation. I mean, I evaluate what I've done, and I have to look at, as the leader of this program, how did I lead this year? So it starts with me, and then I'll evaluate all of our coaches and, our support staff as well. Everybody is part of this evaluation process. Our players will be evaluated this week, and then I'll go through a lengthy evaluation process of our entire staff, not just the coaches, but the entire support staff as well. The ultimate goal here is to win championships, but I also know that the development of this program is still ongoing, and that's an important piece in this evaluation process as well.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll bring Jaden in to the podium again like we've been doing.